Hi guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to let you know that I fucked something up. So, I don't know which video it was because this is my 13th video that's going up already in the month of April and it's just the 13th. One of these videos mentioned the Wicked Spirits Book Club book for April as being Night Chaser, and that is incorrect. Night Chaser was March's book of the month, and for April, the book of the month is Guilty Pleasures by Anita Blake. So, that wasn't right either. And I'm pretty sure I had it. I don't even know what the fuck I did. I had them all written down, the vote poll results in my book, and even though the percentage wasn't there, I circled the wrong thing. The book of the month for friggin' April is Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh, which now that I think about it, I think that's what I said the last time. So here's just a description of Guilty Pleasures for no fucking reason. Now, you may be asking, how could you get that confused? That's because the live show for both books will be this very same live show. There will be two books, one live show, you get it. It will be on Brandy's channel and it will be on April 21st. So knowing that the live show for that book is going to be at the end of April is what's screwing me up in the brain and making me say that that's April's book. But it wasn't. It was a book we read for March, and then in April we will be reading Guilty Pleasures. Guilty Pleasures is one of the smuttier books that book club has read thus far, and I am so ready for it. Anita Blake is known for her smut. Yeah, take my word for it. This book, I have not read this series. I have read the Mary Gentry series of hers, which deals with Fae, and I liked it. It's just like the last couple of books in this series descended too far into smut and no story, just all smut, to the point that smut was just like, what was that even for? Why? Yeah. But the Anita Blake series, I believe, is the one she wrote first and is still writing now. There are quite a lot of books in that series. This is the Vampire Hunter series. Anita Blake, Vampire Hunter, whatever. Anyhow, this book takes place in St. Louis, and Anita Blake, I'm not sure if she is human or not, but she can reanimate the dead, and she also can kill the reanimated when they cross the line. So very useful and probably very contentious person to have around in a paranormal world where she can be responsible for bringing you back from the dead, but she can also fucking kill you. There are a string of murders and she is asked to investigate, but in doing so she is going to have to confront her biggest fear, that being her attraction for Master Vampire Jean-Claude. Anyway, yeah, I know. That's how it's worded. Like, go look it up. That's it. That's all I know about the book because that's all that's in the summary. I also know because I know the author know that it's going to be smutty AF, and being that it is a paranormal romance book club and we have been like a little PG-13-ish on the romance, we're going to like take a little bit more of a lean, change lanes, and get into like the smutty side, the faster pace. We're going to get into the fast lane, like we just going to Autobahn that bitch because this one like is smut, like trust me. So, yeah. Anyway, again, live show will be April 21st. I am pretty sure it will be at 9 a.m. Pacific. I will double check that though and put it down in the description box. And it will be on Brandy's channel, who I will also link down in the description box. One of the co-hosts, one being Brandy, one being me, and the other being Amanda. Anyhow, yeah. Follow the Wicked Spirits Book Club Twitter page, which I'll also link down below, so I don't continue to fuck y'all up. Because I got a lot going on and I'm just really confused about most things in life right now. Just take my word for it. Anyway, back to the video of the day. Today's video is the characters who I think would have been sorted into Ravenclaw had they gone to Hogwarts. Now, Ravenclaw is a house that's known for its wit, its cunning, and its wisdom. So, I tried to pick some characters that embodied that, just like I did with Hufflepuff and just like I did with Slytherin. So, first up is Emmet Atwater from Nixia. Nixia is this Wi-Fi, that's what I call YA sci-fi, and it slips out into my videos, sorry. Nixia is this YA sci-fi, it's a series now, book 3 is coming out soon, in which a bunch of more or less like down and out kids, like Emmett's inner city, some other kids have different like backgrounds, some have bad family backgrounds, whatever the case. A bunch of these teenagers who are down and out are kind of recruited to go on this space mission, and this mission is a competition, and the winners of this competition will get the chance to not just go through a trial, but go on the actual mission, in which they are doing things that I won't tell you because they're spoilery, and it's a really cool thing to discover. So yeah, Emmet is determined to be chosen, and that means that he has to come out on top. It is not just a matter of brute strength or will. Emmet has to pretty much use every bit of common sense, of street smarts, and intelligence that he can gather about himself. For a teenager, Emmet is very unwilling to be kind of follow along with the pack, so to speak. And a lot of the things that I really love about Emmet's character is that despite the fact that he's supposed to come from like inner city Detroit and a family that's not so well off, at no point is he just a dumb character or does he do things that are stupid. His character is all about using his intelligence to figure out different ways he needs to get ahead. And I very much loved it about this book. This is an incredible book. I tried to like entice you without being spoilery because this book, oh my god, I did not expect the things that I got when I read this, and I was just floored. Next up, I have Kaz Burger from Six of Crows. Yes, I said Kaz is a Ravenclaw. Think of him of kind of like a Gilderoy Lockhart type Ravenclaw. Like, he's the kind of person that instead of like using his intelligence in school to pass a test, he does really, really creative like ways of cheating, like writing the answers to the test on the inside of a label of the water bottle kind of a deal, or printing them in like the ingredients part of the water bottle or some shit like that somewhere nobody is ever going to look when they're making sure you're not cheating on the test. He's that kind of Ravenclaw. He has a whole lot of wits, street smarts, intelligence, but he uses them in very sneaky and devious ways. Nonetheless, the man is brilliant. Freaking love this book. So for those of you who do not know what Six of Crows is about, Six of Crows is this kind of fantasy. It's like an urban fantasy set in a European setting. It's not medieval Europe, but it's still a fantastical Europe. At any rate, it has this very 1920s like mob gang feel almost because of the way Kaz and the Dregs are. They're this like street gang who is a family, so it's like very much like if you ever watch any of those HBO shows about like New York, the gangsters in like the 20s, it has that kind of a feel to it, except instead of being middle-aged, these are like young adult, new adult age characters. That does not stop Kaz though from being bad fucking ass. Like, dude. He is very ruthless when it comes to getting what he wants. He's creative in his punishments. He's creative in his the way he goes about accomplishing things. Like, this man is a master strategist and planner, and just that's the same thing. But anyway, definitely check this book out. It is a heist book, so there is that, and it is the shit. Next up, I have Cry Wolf. Well, basically Charles from the Alpha and Omega series. This is an urban fantasy series. It is by the author of I was going to say Meg Cabot. That is the Princess Diaries, so not that. By the author of the Mercy Thompson series. This is a spin-off series that's set in the same world in which there are vampires, fae, werewolves. And in this particular one, the main character, Charles, is Mercy from the other series. He's our, like, foster brother, kind of. He is 100 years plus Native American, and he is very stoic. It has a lot of cultural things in it, which are pretty cool, and I like it that doesn't seem to play on the mystical Native American, like, it doesn't, I don't get that feel from it, and I'm sensitive to it because my family is part Black and Native American. Yeah, he's very, Charles is very wise, and they let it be known that it has as much to do with his age as it does to do with his background, but again, it doesn't have like that mystical Native American trope crap, because trust me, I hate that. And as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh, here we go with this bullshit. Looking at you, Wonder Woman. So yeah, Charles is also Bran's son, and Bran is like so old that the other werewolves don't even know how old he is. Bran is the leader of all of the North American werewolves. All of them. So his wisdom partially gets passed down from his father, and the fact that he is like a couple hundred years old himself. The thing that I love about their relationship in this book, this is his love interest, Anna. This is the very first book of the series. There's a novella and then 5 books. The novella is inside. The prequel novella is, well, actually the novella is book 1. It's a little weird. Anyway, this is the novella and the full-length book, both wrapped up in this one. And in the novella is when Charles and Anna meet. Anna is a human who was turned werewolf. She is an Omega, and she's basically abusing this pack. And what I love about their relationship is Charles, in all of his wisdom and badassness, because Charles is like the boogeyman to the werewolf. Like, he's very fucking scary because he is more or less judge, jury, and executioner for his father. Sometimes when his father feels like people fucked up, Bran sends Charles, and Charles is the one that's got to go catch these werewolves and dish out justice. That's not the word I wanted, but close enough. Charles is the one who has to go catch up to them and dish justice. Now, because he has to do this, he really can't be friends with anybody, because he may at any given point have to punish them if they break the rules. He may have to end their life, so it keeps him from really getting close to people, except for Anna, who is his mate. Anna, who has all of these abuses and just this horrible background, but they kind of like help heal each other. She, helps him in that she gives him company, love, affection. She's not afraid of him despite what he does. She doesn't let that mar the way she sees him. And she also gets this side of him that nobody else really gets. Like, he has a very flat sense of humor, but she gets it and she thinks it's hilarious. Like, there are two sides of the coin. And for Charles's part, he doesn't treat her like a broken being. The way that he protects her is teaching her how to better protect herself. The way she was turned, no one taught her the rules and like the ways of this supernatural world. So he better empowers her so that she doesn't need a physically stronger person to be around and protect her. She's able to protect herself, and that's how he protects her, by giving her the ability to protect herself. So they kind of subvert a lot of tropes with that, and I really, 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 really like it. But anyway, Charles, if you get to know his character, and if you have read the Mercy Thompson series and have gotten used to Bran's character, all of them are like super smart, and it's likely because they're super old. They have a lot of secrets. There's a lot of different magic slipped in with the werewolf magic they really don't want to tell anybody about, so there's just a lot that goes with that. But Charles definitely would have been a Ravenclaw. He'd have been a scary as fuck Ravenclaw, but he'd have been a Ravenclaw. It'd have been interesting to have seen him and Kaz Burger like interact. That would just probably not. I think that would be all bad. Next up, I have Binti from the Binti series by Nnedi Okorafor. These are very tiny novellas, but for their size, ooh buddy, like, don't get it twisted. There's nothing lacking in these books. Nothing. Trust me. Binti is this Afrofuturism sci-fi, right? So it's set in this world where Binti, who is the main titular character, is leaving home to join this academy, like this galactic academy that her family doesn't want her to join. It's just not a thing they do. They don't leave their home world. They don't leave their people, especially not to interact with all these like aliens and all this other stuff. But, Binti faces not necessarily excommunication, but she faces being cut off from her family because this is something she wants to do. The reason I say that Binti would be a Ravenclaw is because Binti is one of the few people out of not only her family, but the people that she comes to meet in the academy that sees, the wisdom in not just staying put, but also bringing all of herself with her, like all parts of her home world. And that's why in the picture on the cover, we see her with this clay on her face, because that is culturally significant for her on her homeworld. And whereas she could have let that go to fit in better in the academy, she didn't. She kept up everything that made her her. So she still honored her family by not letting go of their traditions, which is part of the reason they didn't want her to go, and did her best at the academy. So she kind of melded the two worlds together really beautifully. And that also comes from her personality. But being as this is a short book, like much I can tell you would give away a lot. So just trust me when I say that Binti is definitely a Ravenclaw. Homegirl is got it going on up top. These though, read them. Super good. And then lastly, I have Laszlo Strange from Strange the Dreamer. Every time I hold this up like this, I think the book's upside down. It's totally not. Anyway, Strange the Dreamer. It's really hard to describe what it's about because it's just so pretty, and that's all I ever want to say about it. It's just fucking gorgeous. Like, the writing is beautiful, the setting is beautiful. It's set in this entirely made up fantasy world that you really can't tell what influence it has. Like, it doesn't strike me as being European or like Anglo anything, which is European, or like anything else. It's just this beautifully melded world that Laini Taylor created, and it just like, oh, I love it so much. And the audiobook is incredible as well. But Laszlo Strange, who is the dreamer, is Laszlo is, how do I describe him? Laszlo is like, I like to think of him as being like a love letter to all of us readers. Laszlo from birth basically has been completely like just addicted to stories, to reading them, to researching their origins, and in it he kind of becomes embroiled in trying to learn about this world that he can't remember the name of. For some reason, like, the name of the world was stricken from his memory, and all he can think to call it is Weep, even though he knows that's not the name of this world. So it kind of sets him on this road to research it, and that leads him to like getting the opportunity to find Weep. But he is so like learned and well read, and his mind is just a fantastical place to be. So whereas a lot of people think like maybe being a Ravenclaw would make you kind of just very a stoic academic, he is not that. He is very much like his head in the clouds academic, but that does not mean that he's just dopey. He's a dreamer, but he's a very intelligent dreamer. He is a very driven dreamer, and oh my god, like, please read this book. It broke me, but it broke me in the best way. Like, it broke me painfully, but it was so fucking worth it. And I haven't read the second book yet because, bitch, I'm scared. I'm terrified. But those are 5 characters who I feel like would definitely have been sorted into House Ravenclaw. Like, there were no doubts about any of them. There was not one character, except for maybe Kaz, could also be a Slytherin, but I think he would be Ravenclaw first. Actually, I think he would be equally Ravenclaw or Slytherin. But everybody else, yeah, definitely hardcore in Ravenclaw. Like, straightforward. Whew. That, I think, is all I got for this video, guys. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. And I will catch you tomorrow for the Gryffindor book characters. Catch you later. Bye.